Hey everybody, how's it going, everybody? How's everybody this Friday evening? A little bit different time of the month, a little bit different time of the week that we're doing this. And if you hear a bunch of ladies laughing and sounding like they're partying, my wife is having her craft night is usually one Friday night out of the month, and tonight is the night craft night, and they're having a Christmas party, so they're partying it up. I just I just came in from there. They had me read one of those stories where you say left and right a lot in the story, and you pass the gift back and forward. And just finished that in there with them, and hanging out with them. And so yeah, so look at the. Let me pull me up here where you can see me. Take this down. Of course, this is Hotter Than Hell versus Motley Crue, or Hotter Than Hell Kiss versus Motley Crue Theater of Pain. This was one that was picked out of the requests and beer caps back here, and we'll pull another one out of that at the end of this one. Uh, just doing a little bit of housekeeping, just letting you know what the panel is still open on voting for. I had somebody mention earlier in the comments, I believe it was Wonder Joe, said, "How do I get on the panel?" The way you get on the panel is you go to my social media, go to YouTube, my community page, or go to Facebook, my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. All those, I'll put those up right here where you can see them. Let's see. I got to take this down. Yeah, let's see. So yeah, right there. You can go to Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, Instagram. You can also go to YouTube, and there will be a post on there where there's a link that you can click on, and it takes you to a survey, and you basically pick whatever. If it's a track versus track, you pick between the two tracks. If it's you're doing a track listing of best to worst, which we've not done in a while, we'll be doing some of those. You drag the tracks in order that you would like for them to be. So that's how you can get in on a panel. And Emily Graziano says, "Hi, Brent. Hi, Em. Good to see you." Angelo says, "Hi, Brent. It's been a while since I've been on one of your live chats, but I'm not on the panel. That's okay. You can hang out, and it's good to have you. Good to see you." Dark Light says, "Hi, Em and Brent. In my head, in my head." That's right. In my head. Christmas time blues are real. Haven't been doing many videos. Sorry. It's okay, Em, and and it's a real busy time of year. It really is, and I'm trying to do more videos. There are going to be more videos in the upcoming year. Not all music videos. I got my bench behind me, and I've been getting in some really cool stuff. There's an Xbox, an OG Xbox that I'm going to be working on, doing some really cool stuff. I'm going to be modding it so you can play a bunch of different kinds of games on it, not just Xbox games, but a bunch of different kinds. It's going to be doing a soft mod to it, and then there's a hard mod that I'm going to do to it also. But yeah, so that's coming up, and me working on some stuff. I've got some speakers I want to work on, and be working on different things. I'm doing Kiss stuff. Got In Our Heads coming. Season 1, episode 3 hits Monday, the week of Christmas, next week on Monday. I shot that this past week, and working on getting that edited up, and it's going to be out Monday. I'm currently in the middle, right smack dab in the middle of 12 Days of Christmas. Just had my 6th video come out of musicals and instrumentals that I played on about 12 years ago that I kind of reworked for everything. Oh, I didn't know that I wasn't being seen. Hold on a second. Oops. There we go. I didn't know I wasn't being seen. But yeah, so that's coming up. So that's actually in the process. That'll be going all the way to the day before Christmas Eve. So we got 6 more days to go. And I think there's more than 12 songs altogether. There's more than 12 songs. I think there's like 13 or 14. Little Drummer Boy is coming up on Sunday, where I love that song. And I'm trying to get some extra footage shot of me playing the drums. It'll still be the recording of me from 12 years ago, but I'm trying to get some footage recorded of me playing my new drum set that's right off camera here. But I may not get it done in time, so it may just be a manger, maybe a little drummer boy or something. I'm gonna try, but I can't promise. But you're gonna get to hear me do a little drum solo in the middle of that. Not huge, but just a little fun drum solo in the middle of that. So yeah, so let's see who else we got here. Angelo. Oh, it's Friday. Yeah, well, it is here. Depending on where you're watching, it may actually be Saturday. I know some people overseas, it's actually about 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 2 o'clock in the morning, somewhere around there. In the same boat, hang in there. I understand. Yeah, just try not to get too depressed. Just try to find some joy in all the commercialism of Christmas. Hug your family members by the neck. The ones you don't exactly get along with, at least be tolerable, be the bigger person. Just stay healthy, body-wise and mental-wise. Vanderhoff. Hello, Brent. Good to see you, Vanderhoff. I got the Christmas blues, too. I hate hearing everybody's got Christmas blues. I had it last year. And I don't have it this year. I was going through a really rough time last year. I didn't really put it so much on camera. I try to let you guys in and let you see the real me and everything. I like being personable and being real, and I hope that comes through. But I had a lot of crap. I had a lot of crap going on last year, and back in December, and it came through. I go back and I watch those videos, and it kind of came through. So I'm in a much better place this year, mental health wise. I'm in a much better place. My wife's sneaking in here. What do you need? I'll text it to you. Why? Why?
What is it? Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
I'm real.
She's funny. She asked my wireless password, so I whispered it, but you guys may have heard it. But you don't know what my wireless SSID is anyway, so it ain't like you can do anything about it. Let's see. Now I can see you. Well, good. Dwight, good to see you, Dwight. Angela, I like playing the drums too. Awesome. Armand, what's up? Brant, hope your family's doing great. They are. We're all doing really good. We're ready for Christmas. Cecil, good to see you. Good to see you. Going through a really rough time too. I hate to hear that, Angelo. I hope things get better for you. Just don't give up, man. If I can say that to anybody. I know Christmas gets depressing. I lost my mom right after Christmas 4 years ago, and Christmas is a little different without her. And we've all lost people and everything. And this past couple of years has been a lot of loss and but just try to find something positive to focus on. Try to watch a favorite Christmas movie. If you're not into Christmas, or if you're kind of bummed out about it, just get in a different mindset. Just try to do something different to keep your mind straight. Her looked nice. Yeah, she's redhead. Her hair looked nice. Oh yeah. She's really redhead, but she has it during the winter. She does it brown, but that copper still shows through. She's got that copper red hair, and thank you, Brant. Yeah, thank you, Angelo. Like I said, you guys, I want all of you guys to. I do think about you guys and guys and gals, and I hope all of you are doing well, very well, and just stay positive. Try to find some good in Christmas, and it'll be summertime again before we know it. I don't like it getting dark so early and getting cold, and it's dark by the time I get off work and get home. It's dark when I go to work in the morning, and it's like seems we live in darkness, and I don't like that. I don't like when 6 o'clock feels 6 o'clock. It might as well be 11 o'clock. It might as well be 12 o'clock, and plus it's cold, and I'm not a big fan of any of that. So let's just encourage each other, and let's just stay positive. Angelo, hang in there, buddy. Yes, Cecil, I agree. Nice to see Mrs. Brandt. Yes, she does exist. She's in some old videos, and I've had a bunch of my trolls. They'll say, "Oh, you need to get a girlfriend. You need to get a wife, and you need to get out of your mom's basement." And this is my mom's basement. It's a spare bedroom in my house, and I am married happily and have a wife. So I have a good job. So life is good. I've got you guys, and we're going to talk about some Kiss. We're going to talk about some Motley Crue, Vanderhoff. I'm having an IPA. Right now I'm drinking water, but I do have me a beer right back here, if you can see it. It's back there. I got a hell of a nice basement. Yeah. Yeah. This is about a 12 by 12, one of our spare bedrooms. This was actually our daughter's room when she lived at home. And I've given some behind the scenes tours on it before. Like this half over here is my wife's office. She works from home, and she's a social worker. She works from home. So half of this room is hers. And then this other half, if you take a square and cut it diagonally, then I've got my drum set right here, and then my TV with my records in it, and then my work bench is right here, and then my record player and my where I keep my CDs and stuff. And this is my bench. I'm gonna start doing stuff on, and so yeah, but I do have a beer. I'm gonna be drinking here in just a little bit. One of my Hershey's, Yingling Hershey's. I'm gonna be drinking. I'm just drinking some water right now since my throat's kind of scratchy. I'm not sick, but it's just that time of year, where it just kind of gets in your sinuses and just kind of the drainage messes with your throat. And I talk a lot for my job. I work in IT, and I'm on the phone or in Zoom meetings or something like that almost all the time. So I'm constantly having to talk. All right. So we're here to talk about Kiss and Motley Crue. But first, I do want to say you got the banner going across the bottom. I do want to thank my Patreons. They support me over on patreon.com/in my head. And currently, as of December the 1st, I have, it's scrolling across the bottom. I kind of got to wait for it to come back, I think, so I can see it. No, I can see it here. At the supporter level, which is the $3 a month level, which gets you stuff early, and you get access to like raw, uncut footage early. Like I gave them the link to, I think on Friday, not Friday, on Monday. I think it was Monday. On Monday, we shot the video for the In Our Heads season 1, episode 3, the Kissmas episode, and that's coming out Monday, like I said. But the very next day, I sent the link to Patreon where they could see the raw, unedited, like over 2 hours worth of footage. And I think by the time I edit it down, that's not it.
I can't get it to work. So,
huh?
Try the one for the internet.
No, that's not it.
We can't get it to work.
All right. I'm
so sorry.
I'll be right back. Hold on, guys. I'm sorry. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, I'm sorry. They're trying to play a game on a Switch, and they were trying to connect to the internet, and they were typing in the wrong password. I am so sorry that you had to wait. Normally, I don't do that. He's doing IT at home. um, yeah, yeah. Merry Christmas, and yeah. So I was talking about the Patreons, and basically, you get stuff early. We do hangouts also. Like we watch Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park together. We watch Kiss concerts together. We get together and hang out about once a month for a couple hours, and that's all done in the streaming software because I can't do it on YouTube. So you get benefits, and most people pay $3. Some people pay $5. Um, but yeah, so my Patreons are Pyretta. She's at the entry level, the $3 level. And then at my inner circle level, $5 is James Dean, Rhett Smetzer, Jesse Ray, John Steinheimer from Voice of Doom, and Wendy Tipton. So yeah, you can join today by and find out about the benefits going to patreon.com/in my head. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm so sorry that I had to leave you guys hanging, but family comes first. All right, so Higher Than Hell versus Theater of Pain. We had 39 people on the panel. I believe some of you are on the panel. This was one that came out of the request in beer caps. This is whenever you go online and you do one of my surveys, down at the bottom, there's a place to leave comments and or leave a suggestion. And I may have to disable that box for a little bit because I have got a thing full of suggestions. I mean, this is all suggestions, and oops, there's somebody's fell out. And I do want to get around to doing all of them. And so I may turn suggestions off for a little bit so we can get through some of the requests from the request and beer caps. I say request and beer caps because that's where I used to put my beer caps. I don't put it in there anymore, but that's where I used to. This is a request that came from that, and we will pick one at the end of this video so you guys can see what you're going to be voting on next. I do want to go ahead and say that we have what you can still get in on is you can still get on voting for track versus track for Rock and Roll Over versus Dr. Feelgood. That is Kiss's 5th studio release versus Motley Crue's 5th studio release. And so you can still get on that until the end of tomorrow. Voting closes at midnight tomorrow night on that. So you can go to my YouTube or any of my social media and get in on that. And then another one that you can get in on is the Motley Crue track versus track series where Shout at the Devil is going to go up against Motley Crue Dr. Feelgood. Shout at the Devil has beat to get to where it's at. Shout at the Devil has beaten Too Fast for Love, Theater of Pain, Girls, 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 and now it is going up against Dr. Feelgood. Will Shout at the Devil beat Dr. Feelgood? To me, this is the battle of epic right here. This is two amazing albums in their own different in their own different ways, going up against each other. So it's going to be very interesting to see who the winner of this is going to be. And you have another week. You have until Christmas Eve, the end of Christmas Eve. So I know this week's going to get away from you. So if you've not got in on that and you want to get on that one, that's a good one. I would love to see as many people in on these two on Rock and Roll Over, which is amazing. Some people say it's Kiss's best, going against what some people say is Motley Crue's best. And then this one here, the track versus track, Motley Crue going against Shout the Devil going up against Dr. Feelgood. So you have until the end of the 18th tomorrow, or, well, if you're watching this on the replay, hopefully you're watching it before midnight or 11:45 on the 18th. And if you try to go and it says that it's closed, then you're too late. and trying to get in on that one right there too. So hopefully you guys will get in on that. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy good. Dark Light, going to get pizza. Can go and listen. Okay, man, drive safe. Drive safe. And can I get a virtual slice of pizza? There you go. Pepperoni, and black olives and mushrooms. There you go. All right, so I'm going to take another drink of my water. I'm going to crack my beer, and we're going to talk about these two albums. Now, I'll tell you my personal opinion. I like one of these albums, Hotter Than Hell. I'd like it more than I used to. In the beginning, I used to not really care for Hotter Than Hell because I didn't like the muddled sound. And I am drinking my Hershey's Porter. I didn't like the muddled sound, but I liked that the songs were faster than the first album. But at the same time, Kiss sounded like they were still learning their way on their instruments. I'm not saying that they weren't good musicians. It's almost like they were still getting used to the recording process. I think that Dress to Kill is where they really started sounding good. The production value of Dress to Kill and the musicianship of Dress to Kill is hands down better to me than the first two albums. First two albums for Kiss have some great songs. They've got classics. But the production, the musicianship and the production on both of those albums is questionable. But then they bring in Neil Bogart, and which basically he was just doing it because they didn't have the money to hire a producer. So Neil Bogart produced the album. And honestly, I think Kiss and Neil Bogart mostly produced the album. I just wish the first couple albums could have had the production quality and the musicianship that Dress to Kill had. So Hotter Than Hell, though, is I kind of consider it. I kind of consider it like Kiss's heavy metal album. It is kind of heavy metal, kind of Black Sabbath-ish sounding on some of the songs. And let's see. Angelo says he loved Hotter Than Hell. The muddiness adds to its greatness, in my opinion. And yeah, and some people say that. And I kind of, as I've gotten older and listened to it more, I kind of get into that. I kind of understand that. I feel that more now than I used to. Theater of Pain. We've done Theater of Pain a couple times recently, and I'll say the same thing what I've said about Theater of Pain. I don't really care for Theater of Pain. It didn't age very well. It has not aged very well to me, and I'm less of a fan of songs on it than I was when I was younger. It came out when I was around a senior in high school, around 86, 87. And I don't know. I'm just not as big a fan of it now as I was back then. So my favorite between these two albums is definitely Hotter Than Hell. But this isn't which album do you like the best. This is, picking these tracks against each other, individual tracks. Not which has better songs or which has the more better songs or whatever. You really have to operate in the constraints of track one against track one, track two against track two, and that changes the dynamic about whether which album you end up picking more songs off of. So that's basically what we're going to be getting into with this. I want to talk about you guys. I got my list here. I want to talk about the panel. I've got you guys listed right here. There you are. See you. There you are. All of you. 39 on this panel. You've got me, my boy Scotty Sky, Dominica, Brett Parker, Bill Sharp, Armand 1972, Flaming Youth 75, Alon, Jim, David King, Jesse Ray, Les Wadley, Jersey Joe, Joe Pegg, Bob O'Brien, Richard Buffett, Tom Tobin, Ed, Jeff Wyatt, Deuceman 65, Christian Peterson, Aladio, Trey Robinson, Roger Bennett, Jason Reiner, Raven FM, Timothy Murdoch, Dark Light, Wayne Kerr, Thomas Hubner, Logan Sievert, Joe Nail, Wendy Tipton, Tony F. Corpse from Postmortem Superstar, Super Kiss 1300, Dick Rash. I love the names. Dick Rash. Vincent Marone, Eddie Thompson, AJ Reeves, and John. And wanted to go ahead and go through the suggestions before we get to the albums. We had some suggestions. My boy Scotty Sky suggested Metallica, the Black Album versus Appetite for Destruction. So that'll go in the box. Rory Gallagher, Stage Struck versus Irish Tour 74 from Tom Tobin. That'll go in the box. Roger Bennett said, take every Kiss studio track from the 70s, including the 4 solo albums, Side 1 and Alive 2, and put them in a bucket. Pull them out and do a tournament to see which songs win, like an NCAA bracket. Winners go back in the bucket for round 2. Kiss Wars. Could throw in and call it Kiss Wars, and we could throw in a demo too to make it interesting. Roger, I'm going to go ahead and pull that one out and tape it up where I can see it, because that sounds like something excellent to do during the summer. When we start thawing out from the winter and we start getting into springtime and summer, that sounds like an awesome series to do during the summer. So that will probably end up being a summer series. And Timothy Murdoch suggested Turbo from, I guess, Judas Priest versus Ultimate Sin from Ozzy. So that'll go in the bucket. All right. And so what I started doing, I started featuring a panel member. So if you vote in on the panel, I put your name on a spinny wheel online. A wheel of names is what they call it. And it spins and it picks a name. And the name it picked this week is my friend from across the pond, Mr. David King. Hi, David. Hi, Joanna, his wife, lovely wife. Good to see you guys. Hope you guys are enjoying and watching. And so, David, you are the featured panel member. So whenever I talk about my picks, what I picked, I'll talk about what you picked, and then I'll reveal what the panel picked. Okay? Okay. All right, so here we go. Let me get a swig of beer, and we'll get into this thing. Cheers, everybody. Chocolate is so good. All right. So, track 1 is Got to Choose against City Boy Blues. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you my pick. My pick on this one is Got to Choose. I've never been the biggest fan of City Boy Blues, and I remember whenever this album started back in the day when I first heard it, I didn't know really what to think about City Boy Blues because it did not sound like anything off Shout at the Devil. And none of these songs really sound like anything off Shout at the Devil. Maybe Use It or Lose It, or Save Our Souls, or Tonight We Need a Lover. Louder Than Hell, maybe. But a lot of these songs, they sounded a whole lot more commercial and a whole lot more polished than Shout at the Devil did. So I remember hearing City Boy Blues, and I wasn't really sure what to think. And I like the song okay, but it is not, to me, it has not Got to Choose. I love Got to Choose. I like the live version better, and you'll hear me say that about a lot of songs off the first 3 Kiss albums, especially songs that are off the first couple Kiss albums. I like the live version better. But I pick Got to Choose for this. My friend David King picked City Boy Blues. So we picked against each other. We picked against each other on this one. And what did the panel choose? Well, the loser of track number 1 matchup with 10 points is City Boy Blues. The winner with 29 points is Got to Choose. So that starts Hotter Than Hell off with 1 win. Yeah, guys, please feel free to put in your picks. So Angelo said he would choose all Kiss songs. Dwight said he would choose Got to Choose. So feel free to put your picks in the chat there. Track number 2, Parasite versus Smoking in the Boys' Room. Now, I'm big fans of both these songs. I loved Smoking in the Boys' Room. I loved the video. The video was awesome. But Parasite is one of my favorite Ace songs. It's one of my favorite Ace written songs. It's one of my favorite Kiss songs. So between me, my pick on this is Parasite. David King's pick on this is Parasite. The panel, the loser only had 2 points. The loser, track number 2, Smoking in the Boys' Room, with 2 points. That blew my mind because Parasite is just that good of a song. Parasite is just that good of a song. 37 to 2. So 37 to 2. Hold on a second. When people come, these bots come in and put in those links. I have to kick them. Now, I used to not have that problem, but as I'm starting to get bigger, I start getting those bots that do that. So that takes Harder Than Hell up 2 points. Track number 3, Going Blind versus Louder Than Hell. I love both these tracks. This was a hard pick for me because I love Louder Than Hell. It's one of my favorite songs off of Theater of Pain. But I also love Going Blind. Going Blind, wasn't a song I initially cared for when I was younger. But after hearing it on Unplugged, which it's kind of really cool that it made it to Unplugged, a song from all the way back then. And I think it's also cool that a song from Gene Simmons' solo album, the only song from a solo album that made it to Unplugged, his See You Tonight song, made it to Unplugged too. But Going Blind against Louder Than Hell, I love both of these, but my pick, I had to go with Going Blind. Had to go with it. And David King went with Going Blind also. The panel, what did you guys choose? The loser had 11 points. The loser, track number 2, is Louder Than Hell. Going Blind is the winner with 28 points. So it's 3-0 right now. Harder Than Hell has 3 points, has 3 wins, and Theater of Pain has none. So it kind of makes me wonder if Theater of Pain is going to get any votes against this album, against Harder Than Hell. Track number 4, Harder Than Hell, the title track, against Keep Your Eye on the Money. Keep Your Eye on the Money is kind of like a B-side. It's not, to me, it's not aged very well. So I didn't think it was going to do too good against Harder Than Hell. My pick is Harder Than Hell. That's what I picked. David King, he picked the same as I did. He picked Harder Than Hell. The panel, the loser, only had 5 points. So 5 points for the loser. Keep Your Eye on the Money. The winner, Louder Than Hell, with 34 points. So yeah, I'm looking at here. Let's see, talking about Kiss Unplugged's awesome. Parasite's one of Ace's best songs. Dwight Manning chose Louder. Andrew said it's going to be a blowout. Harder Than Hell for the win. Dwight Manning, he chose Harder Than Hell as his pick for those two. So yeah, that takes it up to 4-0. Up to track 5, the last track on the first side of the albums. Number 5, Let Me Go, Rock and Roll, against Home Sweet Home, against the mega classic, mega hit, Home Sweet Home. The song that was so huge, the video that was so huge that MTV retired it from where you call in and voted for videos. They retired it because it just kept getting voted for and voted for. And it was at number 1 for so long that they retired it. You couldn't vote for it anymore. So how did it fare against Let Me Go, Rock and Roll? I love Home Sweet Home. It's one of those songs I can still listen to this day, and I love. To me, Home Sweet Home is this album. It's that feel of this album. Even though this album, in my opinion, not the best Motley album, it has. When I hear Home Sweet Home, I think of Theater of Pain. The whole visual behind it, the way Motley looked during this day, the way they sounded during this time, during this time, the way they looked, the way they sounded. Let Me Go, Rock and Roll is one of my favorite Kiss songs. I love the jam. I love it even better on the live. It's got an extended jam part to it. It's longer. The only slight that I can say about a lot of the songs off the first 3 albums, it's a lot of them, they were too short. They were either too slow or they were too short, and they expanded on them live, especially the Dress to Kill songs. Some of them were so short, like Rock and Roll All Night didn't even have a solo. It was so short. And some of the songs, the album itself was short. The songs were spaced really far apart on the album. So Alive 2 was just, Alive was just better versions of all those songs. And, I agree. Dwight Manning says, Let Me Go, especially live. Home Sweet Home, the best song on the album. I agree it's one of the best. It is. So I went with Let Me Go Rock and Roll. And David King, he went against me. He went with Hotter Than Hell. It's okay. I still love you, Dave. So I don't expect us all to pick the same. That's the cool thing about it. The loser, Home Sweet Home with 19 points. 19 points. But get this. Let Me Go Rock and Roll. The winner with 20 points. 1 point. 1 point. That shows how good both these songs are and how well they're loved, that there's only a 1 point difference between the two songs as far as our voting goes. So that takes us to track number 6. We're going to flip these albums all the way off of Hotter Than Hell and Tonight We Need a Lover off of Theater of Pain. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of All the Way. If you've watched me very much, you know that I'm not the biggest fan of it. But I don't hate the song, but it's one of my lesser favorite songs off of Higher Than Hell. There's only one song I really like less than All the Way that comes later. And if you've watched me enough, you know what that song is. So you know it's coming. Tonight We Need a Lover is one of those songs. It's a B-side song that some people consider kind of filler, but I love We Need a Lover. I love this song, and I like how it speeds up at the end. I love that. So I didn't think this was going to be this close. I picked Tonight We Need a Lover. David King picked Tonight We Need a Lover. And the loser with 19 points, there's a 1 point separation. All the Way has 19 points. We Need a Lover has 20 points. So Theater of Pain gets its first win with Tonight We Need a Lover. So that makes it 5-1. All right. That takes us to, let's see. Angelo says, Home Sweet Home was the only track that had a chance of winning, in my opinion. All the Way, anything with the cowbell. That's right, anything with cowbell. I actually have one of my rims on my electronic pad, my floor tom rim. I have it programmed to be a cowbell. I hit the rim of the floor tom and I get a cowbell. So that's awesome. So when I need more cowbell, I got it. Track number 7, Watching You versus Use It or Lose It. And I love both these songs. I love Use It or Lose It. I love the drums in it. I love that double bass in it. And Watching You, I mean, come on. It's Watching You. It's one of my favorite Kiss songs, one of my favorite Gene songs. It's so spooky, and Hotter Than Hell does have a spookiness to it. If you listen to it in the dark, it's got spookiness to it, and it definitely comes through with Watching You. So I picked Watching You. David King picked Use It or Lose It. We picked against each other on this one. And this was pretty definitive. The loser had 8 points. So the loser is Use It or Lose It with 8 points, and Watching You wins with 31 points. So Angelo was shocked. Oh my God, All the Way lost. And Dwight says Watching You. Watching You was his pick. So that brings the total up 6-1. Brings us to track 8. Mainline versus Save Our Souls. Mainline versus Save Our Souls. Now, I love both these songs. I love Mainline. Peter Criss vocal. Peter Criss gets 2 vocals on this album, which is really cool. Doesn't happen very often. So he gets 2 vocals. So Mainline versus Save Our Souls. Save Our Souls is a B-side type song, but I love it. I love the whole feel of it. I love the lyrics in it. I just love Save Our Souls. It's a fun song to play too. It's not very fast, but it's just got a groove to it, so I love it. My pick between these two, between Mainline and Save Our Souls, is Save Our Souls. I love it that much. Mainline is a good song, don't get me wrong, and I do love it. But I really like Save Our Souls. It's one of my favorite songs off of the Theater of Pain album. So it wins for me. It also wins for David King. David picked Save Our Souls as well. Um, the panel, the loser had 16 points. This was pretty definitive. The loser had 16 points. Save Our Souls is the loser. Mainline has 23 points. So Mainline is the winner. Let's see. Dwight said he picked Mainline. Cecil says watching you is a very underrated riff, and it sure is. Andrew says Peter Criss should have gotten more vocals. He should have, and he shouldn't have had the Peter type songs, you know. And we talked about this in the past panel video. The Kiss was so much like the Beatles. They were almost the Beatles with makeup, even down to the roles. Like you had Paul and you had Paul McCartney, and Paul McCartney kind of became the front man, even though he played bass. And then George was more like, John was more like Gene, even though they played, swapped their instruments. You had Ace that was kind of like George, and then you had Peter that was kind of like Ringo. And Ringo had a lot of the weird songs, or the songs that were subpar in a way. Not all of them, but just in a way. And I always kind of felt that way with Peter, that Peter never really got help from the rest of the band. He relied a lot on his songs that he had written with Stan Pendridge back in Chelsea and Lips. And so Peter, just all the way up until Dirty Living, that was an old Lips song, old Chelsea song. So I just wish he would have gotten more support from the band. Yes, he needed more Black Diamond. He needed more Black Diamond type songs. Yes, in the very beginning, that was a Paul song that Peter sang. So, and and Paul did write songs for Peter like Hard, but then they became songs like Hard Luck Woman. And Ace wrote songs for Peter, but I don't know. I just wish Peter would have got better quality songs than what he got. So, Mainline wins 23. I don't know if I said who the winner was. Save Our Souls had 16, and Mainline had 23. I may have just blew it, but yeah. So I got off talking. Save Our Souls 16, Mainline 23. So Save Our Souls is the loser. Mainline 23 is the winner. Hold on a second. Black Diamond's one of Kiss' best songs. I agree. I like whenever Kiss would swap vocalists. Like Paul starts off singing that, and then Peter sings it from on out. And when Gene and Paul would swap vocals, I love that. I think those were some of the best Kiss songs when they did that. Okay, so that brings us to track 9, Coming Home, against Raise Your Hands to Rock. And Coming Home is one of my favorite songs off of Hotter Than Hell. I love it. And I think it's a great song. I think it was good on Unplugged. And it gave a lot of people a new appreciation for Coming Home. I mean, hell, they opened the show with Coming Home. So that's cool that they went all the way back to their second album to open that. And they had a lot of diversity of songs on that show, unlike their current set list. But anyway, that's a soapbox for a different day. So Coming Home against Raise Your Hands to Rock. I'm not the biggest fan of Raise Your Hands to Rock. I used to like it a lot more, but it hasn't aged with me very well. So my pick is Coming Home. David King's pick is Raise Your Hands to Rock. So the loser had 12 points. The winner had 27, so it's pretty definitive. 15-point difference. Raise Your Hands to Rock, 12. Coming Home, 27. So Coming Home wins that one and brings the total to 8-1 going into the last song. And That is track 10, Strange Ways against Fight for Your Rights. So if you know me, you know that I'm, believe it or not, and I get a lot of shit for this, I am not the biggest fan of Strange Ways. Uh, a lot of people say, "Oh man, it's the best song on Alive, and it's the ultimate. It's a heavy metal song, and it's just so awesome." I'm glad you think that, and that you have your right to think that. That that's your opinion, and that's your musical taste. To me, Strange Ways is just one of those songs that just it is repetitive. It's that same da na 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 da da na da na 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 da da na. It's 3.5 minutes of that over and over and over, and it's just it gets under my skin. It's not a rocking song to me. It's not a heavy metal song to me, but that's just me. And if you like it, I'm not downing you for liking it. I just don't like it. So my pick is Fight for Your Rights. David King's pick is Fight for Your Rights. I love Fight for Your Rights. Is kind of like, even though it's not aged as well as, I just like that whole fight for your rights. It's almost kind of like a I Want to Rock, but not as hard song. But I just don't like when he gets into that whole people is the skies too deep. I don't like when he gets into that. That's kind of, but I do like where he says a tear of blood bleeds from my eye. I mean, it does have some good visuals in it as far as lyrics goes. Um, but I picked Fight for Your Rights. David King picked Fight for Your Rights. What did the panel pick? That's what's important. What did you guys pick? What did we pick collectively? Because my vote is David's vote's included in that. We collectively picked Fight for Your Rights had 11 points. Y'all thought I was going to say Fight for Your Rights won, huh? Didn't you? Fight for Your Rights had 11 points. Strange Ways had 28 points. So Strange Ways is the winner. So that brings the total 9-1. 9-1. See, Strange Ways, but I do not like it. I saw Peter and Ace play Strange Ways on the 95 Bad Boys tour. Didn't care for that either, but it was history. And Strange Ways should have had, it's supposed to have a drum solo. Yeah, there was a lot of songs that on the early albums that were supposed to have a drum solo. Peter kept constantly threatening to quit the band if they didn't give him a drum solo. And that's why he has that long ass solo on Alive. I think if Peter hadn't got that solo on Alive, he might quit. I doubt it. He would have just bitched about it probably. But I mean, they did give him a solo. And I'm not a big fan of, I'm a drummer and I don't like long drum solos. I'll get up and go to the bathroom or go get a beer. I don't like really long guitar solos. I don't like really long drum solos, vocal solos. The whole, like, where Paul takes almost the whole span of a time where he could put in another song to interact with the crowd. Interact with the crowd with me during the song. Show me how well you can play the drums during the song. Show me how well you can play the guitar and doing a solo during the song. I want to hear songs. When I come to a show, I want to hear songs. That's how you entertain me. And that's just me. You may be different, but I'm just saying these are just me. What I think, what I feel, what I like. So so that's it. So that's the panel on that one. So good job, everybody. Before I go, we got a few minutes left. I'm going to pull out the bottle cap, the beer caps and requests, and I'm going to dig into it, and we're going to pick our next. Let me turn around. See that? Pick our next video. I'll reach down in here and grab one. I can't see what it is. I'll get this one right here. Got it right here. Let's see what it says. James Dean. James Dean said that we should do Black with Dio, or Black with Dio, Heaven and Hell. Black Sabbath. Oh, I get it now. Black Sabbath with Dio, Heaven and Hell, versus Black Sabbath with Ozzy, Paranoid. So, so no, I think my autofocus isn't going to work. Hold on, let me see. Let me turn my autofocus off, or turn my autofocus on. I don't know if it's going. Yeah, it'll let me. Now let me see if this will focus on this. James Dean. Black Sabbath versus Dio. It still ain't gonna focus on it, is it? No, it ain't gonna focus on it. I was just wanting you to see it. Black Sabbath with Dio, Heaven and Hell versus Black Sabbath with Ozzy, Paranoid. So it'd be interesting to see how many votes for the panel we get on that, because it's not going to include a Kiss album at all. And then I have a very heavy Kiss fan base. I have a very heavy Kiss fan base, so we'll see. We'll see how well that we'll see how well that works. So we'll see. Let me back up here and see what you guys are talking about. Emily says, "I wish I could have been alive to see the Bad Boys tour. So close, so far, 1 year off." Angelo says, "I don't like long solos either, but I like Peter's Alive on Alive 1 and 2. Awesome show, Angelo. Yeah, it was Dwight. Alexander Frick says, "It's too complicated." What's complicated, Alexander? What is it? Can you please do Motley Crue Shout at the Devil versus Stryper to Hell with the Devil? Angelo, let me take a picture of that so I'll remember. And I took a picture of somebody's suggestion last time, and I put it in the thing. Let me take a picture of that so I'll be able to remember it. I'll throw that in the suggestion box. Armand says he's in on the Black Sabbath track versus tracks. I only like Black Sabbath with Ozzy. I drop off once he left. So we'll see how that goes. Dwight Manning says yes, a battle of the devils. Yeah, if we're going to be shouting at the devil, or if it's going to be to hell with the devil. I'm a big Stryper fan, and I remember when the Hell with the Devil came out. I've been a fan since Yellow and Black Attack, and I loved Soldiers Under Command. And I remember when To Hell with the Devil came out, and man, they caught crap for that name. They caught crap back during the time. This was back during the PTL days, and Pat Boone and all these people were just calling them, all your devil worshippers, you just say it in the name of the Lord, trying to lure people into rock and roll music is bad, regardless of the words that you put. I mean, just saying stupid stuff. So I don't know, but I love Stryper. I still do. They just raised the money to make a documentary. I think it's not going to be out for a few years, but they had a what is it where you raise money? A thing where you raise money. I can't remember what it's called right now off the top of my head. But they raised money, and Michael Sweet, he just had eye surgery, and they're working on he's writing a new Stryper album, and so that's going to be pretty cool. So you're welcome. Black Sabbath album versus Ozzy's first solo album. Emily, throw that in on the next panel suggestion. I know that you do panels pretty regular, so got the original "The Hell with the Devil" cover. I do too, where they're throwing the devil into the pit. The drums facing sideways on the stage was cool. Yeah, Robert Sweet is awesome. I've met him and Michael when they were on the To Hell with the Devil tour. They came to Charlotte to Evans Auditorium, and I got to meet both of them, got their autograph, and they came out and was hanging out with the fans before they did sound check, and they were both really cool guys. Stryper is one of my favorite bands. Mine too, Angelo. I love them. I've got several Stryper albums on vinyl right back there. And I've done some Stryper videos with Toy Bonnie Guy. I think he changed his name. I don't think he's Toy Bonnie Guy anymore, but we did some Stryper videos on my channel and on his channel. So he's a big Stryper fan, and we did some of those back in the day, a couple years ago. It's hard to believe I'm coming up on 4 years in February, 4 years doing this. And some of you have been with me since the very beginning. And some of you have discovered me newly. And like 00 Stang Driver, he discovered me newly, and some of you guys are relatively new. The 00 Stang Driver, Nick, he's been he discovered me, and then he went all the way back to the beginning of my videos, and he's been traveling his way through time. I think he's up into 2019 now. I don't know if he's made it to 2020. But he's been traveling up through time, and he messages me and comments, and I'll comments, and he lets me know. I like when he comments because I know where he's at, and he's usually in these. I guess he just couldn't make it tonight with it being a Friday. But anyway, guys, that's all I've got. I don't know. There probably will not be a video next week. There probably will not be a live video next week because it's the week of Christmas. And, I want you guys to be able to spend time with your families. And if you live for the lives, I'll be back after that week. I've had some people ask me if I'm going to do a New Year's video, like to do a New Year's live would be real cool to hang out with each other for New Year's. I don't know yet. I don't know what my plans are. Whatever I'm doing, though, I don't know. I could always go live and just have my phone and go live on my phone, and you guys can basically live my New Year's with me wherever I go. If I've got cell service, I don't know how many would be interested in doing that, hanging out, even if I'm just on my phone doing stuff out and about, whatever. I don't know. I don't know what the value would be like that for you guys. So I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. Merry Christmas, Dwight. Merry Christmas to you, Angelo, and to everybody out there. I hope you guys have a good Merry Christmas. Keep watching my channel for the next 6 days. I'll be putting out those instrumentals for the next 6 days tomorrow and until the day before Christmas Eve. I think there's one going to come out Christmas Eve, like real early, like 6 a.m. or something like that. And then all of them will be in that playlist where you can go hit playlist and play all, and you can just go through. You can go through and listen to all 12 or 13, or I think it's 13 or 14 songs, maybe. It's at least 13, maybe 14. Get to listen to those songs as you celebrate Christmas. That'd be cool. And I appreciate the comments that you guys have had along the way about it. That was a labor of love and a lot of work, a lot of hard work put into that 12 years ago. I realized that the first video that came out actually on the 12th, and it was to the day, 12 years to the day that we did that show, that we had all those songs in that show. It was 12 years to the day, which I thought that was kind of funny. So that's all I've got. It's 9 o'clock, and I'm going to get off here, and I'm going to go enjoy the rest of my evening. And I hope that you guys do too. I hope you guys have a great Christmas. Be on the lookout for In Our Heads Season 1, Episode 3. The Christmas episode is going to be coming out on Monday. So Monday, that show, that video will be dropping. The December version, the December episode of In Our Heads. All right. Hope you guys have an amazing Christmas again. And I will see you guys next time. Like I said, be sure to get in the voting for Rock and Roll Over versus Motley Crue. You have until the end of the 18th to do that. You have until Christmas Eve to get your voting in on that right there on Motley Crue, Shout at the Devil. And hope you guys take it easy. And you can follow me on social media and check me out on Patreon. And I hope you guys have a great evening, great weekend, and you have a Merry Christmas. And I will see you guys I'll see you guys live again the week after Christmas on that Wednesday just before New Year's. All right. Thanks, guys.